Hey Apex Agents, Mobius Y here with another video for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. Back from vacation with a two-part character build guide. We're taking a look at the rare Turian Agent. This is a really robust character. It's also very popular just because he's so good. So this particular character build that I set up was going strictly for maximum possible damage with the use of Flamethrower. And in order to do that, I had to drop something, so I dropped Recon Advisor in order to also maintain a good amount of survivability through the support system's passive. So this setup completely reflects that. The equipment, the boosters, so on and so forth. This isn't only a good way to do lots of damage with the Flamethrower, but also with the weapon of choice that you have equipped, as Tactical Cloak offers a really big damage bonus. So this is part one of the build guide, where we will strictly go over the build itself. If you want to see part two with this exact setup in action, check the link in the description below for part two, where I play this exact setup in a single gold difficulty game. So let's get right to it. Recon Advisor, obviously just at 1 point. Still kind of useful when you're going into a spawn of something and whatnot. Personally, I forget to use it a lot, but it's also pretty good because you can use it to start your shield regeneration, depending on what you choose for rank 6 of support systems. And we'll get to that in a second. Tactical Cloak, obviously take it all the way to 6. Rank 4 damage bonus. Rank 5, I really like the speed upgrade when you are cloaked. You'll see why in a bit, because there is another passive bonus to additional movement speed, and it makes this character really quick, especially while cloaked. Rank 6, Escape Artist. Melee kills briefly activate Tactical Cloak, and the cloak no longer prevents health and shield regeneration. It's not very often that I use the melee, but sometimes I will finish off a very weak enemy, like a very low health Adhi or Breacher, with a melee to trigger the cloak again and get things to stop targeting me. I feel it's way better than the combat cloak, strictly for survivability purposes, and you still get the additional damage bonus over 2 seconds when you break cloak by shooting or casting your Flamethrower. Now, Flamethrower, this is essentially the bread and butter of the character. Rank 4, extra damage bonus. Rank 5, lingering burn for additional damage over time and duration. So the damage over time that they suffer not only does more damage to them, but it also lasts quite a bit longer. And at rank 6, anti-armor, plus 80% damage versus armor. I like this over the blinding heat option, which wouldn't really be a bad choice if the anti-armor wasn't so awesome. With this particular setup here, you actually do significant damage to armored sub-bosses and boss units, so it's really handy against the Outlaw faction. We'll get to that in a minute here. Apex Training. Took this all the way to rank 6. Rank 4, additional power damage for 20% extra power and melee damage. Rank 5, special combat training, mostly just for the extra hover duration, but also because the ammo and targeting, I don't really see the point in grabbing it. You can, I mean, if you focus a bit more on your gunplay with whatever weapon you bring in my case, I bring the Hesh shotgun. I could definitely see the merit for taking this over special combat training. I like the extra hover duration because I can jump up and activate my hover and stay up in the air for a little bit longer when I blast people with a flamethrower. Also, it greatly increases the weapon accuracy when airborne, and with that, something like the Hesh, that's actually can be a bit of a godsend. The 50% all combo damage is a bit of a waste, unfortunately, because you can't create your own combos with this character. So for more useful perks, ammo and targeting definitely, because more weak point bonus damage and more weapon spare ammo, both are just useful boons to have. In this one, you pretty much only have the extra hover duration. I couldn't really decide on which one, so I just picked the bottom one, and I actually decided that I do like the extra hover duration and weapon accuracy when airborne. Rank 6, extra power damage, plus 20% power damage, additional weight capacity of 20% as well, and plus 20% tech effect duration. So that adds to the duration of your cloak, which is pretty nice. And rank 6, all the way to rank 6 with support systems. Rank 4 tech duration, plus 30% to all power effect durations. So this should give more more time to your cloak if you are running around a little bit. Rank 5, tactical evasion, not just for the bonus movement speed, but for the additional maximum health and shields, plus 20% on each of those. And at rank 6, it's entirely personal preference here. You could go shield reset, where once every 10 seconds, using a tech power causes shields to recharge immediately, rather than after the standard delay, which is pretty nice, and you can get use out of it with any of the powers, including Recon Visor, which is a tech power, so it could trigger your shield reset by popping your Recon Visor. But I actually like the tech sabotage. Hitting enemies with powers causes them to temporarily deal less damage. They deal 30% less damage over the course of 8 seconds. I've come to like this a heck of a lot more, because when you actually run into a group of mooks, say a group of Ket Chosen or Outlaw Raiders or Remnant Assemblers, this can make a big difference when you set all of them on fire really quickly and they're all dealing a little bit less damage. It can actually save you from taking a lot of damage because they're all doing a little bit less. It combines a bit better if you take the blinding heat option with Flamethrower, because it also reduces their damage output by an additional 50%. So I can definitely see the merit for taking blinding heat along with tech sabotage. But I just really like taking the anti-armor option in this particular setup, because with the combination of the damage bonus from Tactical Cloak, the damage bonus, the passive damage bonuses from Apex Training, where you get quite a bit of extra damage at ranks 2, 4, and 6, as well as the additional rank 4 damage bonus in Flamethrower and rank 6 bonus damage versus armor. A single gold difficulty Berserker, which is the big Krogan sub-boss for the Outlaw faction, you can actually kill in a single cast of Flamethrower. You do have to hit them with the entire duration of the Flamethrower from Cloak, but they can be at full health, and you can spray them with the Flamethrower for the entire 5 seconds or however long it lasts, and then you can run away. And the lingering damage over time that they suffer will eventually kill them after about 6 or 7 seconds or so. And that's on gold difficulty. So it makes it really, really strong. Like I said, support systems, rank 6, entirely personal preference. They both add to your survivability a little bit, I'd say. Now for the loadout itself, like I said, I used the Hesh on this because I really like it. It pumps out pretty good damage and forces you to getting pretty close where your Flamethrower is effective anyways. Obviously using a shotgun barrel attachment with a smart choke to tighten up the pellet spread whenever this thing shoots. That combines pretty nicely with the additional weapon accuracy when you're hovering as well. So when you're actually up in the air, you'll land your shots quite a bit better. Especially with something like the Hesh, which has terrible pellet spread by default. For equipment, I like Omni Capacitors because it does two things. First off, it adds more tech power damage by 20% and reduces power recharge speed by 15%. I like that because of the power recharge speed reduction. I think it's super cool. And where the heck is the engineering kit? There it is. You're only sacrificing 10% tech power damage by doing that. For additional cooldown speed on your Tactical Cloak, which is your #1 method of survivability, I think it's a godsend over Engineering Kit. With Engineering Kit, you can definitely eke out just a little bit more damage with your Flamethrower, especially in a single cast, doing lots of damage to armored bosses, especially things like Hydras and Fiends in particular, obviously. But I just like the extra cooldown. I think it's super cool. And in the gameplay, I used a tech power amp, only a grade 1. Obviously, you can use a higher grade 1 if you like to on gold. On platinum, I definitely recommend at least a grade 2 or grade 3 tech power amp. And my second booster was just a shotgun rail amp. You could actually swap this out for most anything. You could even do a strength enhancer for a little bit extra melee damage if you wanted. You could do a cyclonic modulator to increase your maximum shields by just a tad more. Also, if you're leveling up the character, you could use an experience enhancer. And if you don't really, if you like the path of getting even more recharge speed on your powers, you could swap the tech power amp for a power efficiency mod if you so choose. My last suggestion would probably be one kind of ammo type, some kind of a piece of ammo, probably Disruptor. To help you deal with shields, because shields, shielded enemies in particular, are a major weakness for this character, but that's why you want to bring a good gun like the Hesh, or possibly even a Piranha if you have a decent grade Piranha that you can bring in, so on and so forth, to help you de-shield enemies or weaken shielded enemies in order to guarantee that they will suffer a lot from your spurt of Flamethrower. So that sums it up for the build breakdown. Pretty straightforward. In the gameplay in particular, there was a daily challenge going on for earning points using tech powers. So you'll see me using the Flamethrower a lot, and you'll see how why I like things like the tech sabotage option at rank 6 of support systems. Also why I like going for maximum possible damage that you can eke out with the Flamethrower, especially with things like the damage over time and whatnot, and the initial damage when you are spurting the Flamethrower itself, of course. So, as I said, for part 2, where we actually take this exact setup into a gold difficulty game, check the link in the description below. That'll sum it up for part 1. So thank you very much for watching. This has been Mobius Y for Mass Effect Andromeda's multiplayer. If you would like to see more Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer content, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I upload a new video every Tuesday, and I stream the same evening. So check the links in the description below for access to my Twitch channel and my Twitter feed, where you can stay up to date on any news or information as to whether I have to postpone or cancel streams. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Good luck, Apex.